Right, definitely we'll do some more on this story. The NPP and the PPP have expressed confidence in the new EC boss. They want the new EC leadership to implement the Representation of the People's Amendment Act, while the CPP is calling for a total transformation of the commission.
What I would say is that they've been appointed. I think that the president has consulted with the National Council of State, and therefore they've been duly appointed. Our EC need personnel who are apolitical, who are balanced, who help steer the affairs of our democracy.
People who undertake the real job are still there, and they'll get it done. For us, we are thinking about ROPA. We are thinking about amendment and implementation of the political parties law. We are talking about cleaning of the bloated register. These are things that the Electoral Commission must do to give it some credibility.
The CPP expects the new EC leadership to focus on transforming the commission.
For us, as a CPP, we are looking at the need for institutional and structural reforms at the Electoral Commission. A lot of the challenges that, surfaced, which resulted into a lot of the internal wranglings that we saw play out in the public domain, were symptoms of fundamental structural issues that have to do with the law that created the Electoral Commission.
You're watching News 360, and we're going to speak to Professor Ransford Jampo, who is a political scientist and a former senior research fellow at the Institute of Economic Affairs, where he worked with Madam Jean Mensa for 14 years. Prof, it's good to speak to you on News 360. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Right, so the president says he will do a broad consultation before the appointment. Does it appear to you he did just that in the appointment of Madam Jean Mensa?
Well, I don't know. I'm not a magician. I wasn't consulted. And if it's about consultation, I want to believe that it is something that may have taken place behind the scenes and all that. So I do not know whether he consulted or not. But anytime such consultations will take place, they will take place behind the scenes. So,
well, yeah, Prof, concerns have emerged about the political affiliation of Madam Jean Mensa and also her credibility crisis. For example, in 2011, she is alleged to have put a story on the website of the Electoral Commission, that on IEA's website, which was titled IEA Slams NPP for Abuse of Incumbency. And with this at the back of the mind of a lot of people, why must Ghanaians have confidence in her that she will be fair?
Well, I don't know whether you have been in Ghana for that long, but everybody who is politically switched on knows the contribution of Jean Mensa to Ghana's democratic advancement, and then also in our quest to deepen inter-party dialogue, among political parties in Ghana. And so I don't know about the issues you're raising regarding her credibility. This is a woman who has been able to bring together political parties' representation in parliament to dialogue and to discuss issues of national concerns in an apolitical manner for over a decade. The platform that was institutionalized at the IE, called the Ghana Political Parties Program, was always discussing issues of national importance in an apolitical manner, and she was the head of the program. And with that, she was able to work with the political parties to get their consensus and bipartisan acceptance on key issues. Indeed, the review of the 1992 Constitution was the call that was first made by the Ghana Political Parties Program, the program that she, chaired and all that. And so in doing so, I'm sure he's been able to, over the years, win the respect and credibility, and then also the good name from the political parties. If you care to know, I'll tell you that the IE has played a leading and key role in strengthening and building the capacity of political parties since 2012, 1992 when the Ghana political parties, started. And in so doing, they fund all their capacity building activities, and they pay monthly stipends to their general secretaries and policy analysts. They've done this for over a decade. And this, in my view, has endeared her to the political parties. The Ghana political parties program seems more institutionalized, even than the inter-party advisory committee, of the Electoral Commission. And so I think if you are looking for somebody who is more credible, hardworking, to be able to work with political parties, she is the person to go for. And so I hail the appointment. I commend the president. Jean Mensa has what it takes to turn the fortunes of the Electoral Commission around. She was the first person to host a national program that was aimed at brainstorming on proposals for electoral reforms. And she was among the first to convene a program, an event that led to the submission of key proposals of electoral reform to the Electoral Commission. And there are so many proposals that have not reformed. She is the best person to be there to oversee the implementation of these proposals to ensure that we fine-tune our electoral processes so that the processes will be able to deliver results that are acceptable to all.
Right. So, Prof, the appointment of or the nomination of Madam Jean Mensa has already generated some heat, particularly from the opposition NDC. Does it appear to you that somewhere along the line some kind of consensus will be achieved?
Well, I want to hope so, because the opposition used to be, they were all members of the Ghana Political Parties program. The General Secretary, Asiedu Nketia, was the chairperson of the Ghana Political Parties program. And so if there are issues, I'm sure they can be ironed out. But what exactly is the issue they have? I keep asking and I keep wondering, what exactly is the substantive issue they have against Jean Mensa? I don't think there is any. And we should be mindful of this. Partisan politics is not just about trivialities. It's about issues of substance, particularly as we move forward in consolidating multi-party democracy and in advocating reforms that will bring about development. We shouldn't be petty. I mean, if you have some petty squabbles and scores to settle, I mean, they can be handled. But we are looking at the credibility, the competence and experience of people to man key institutions of state. And I think the president's choice must be applauded. I commend the president. Right. This is the second appointment that he has made that, for me, shows to me that the president really means well and is interested in building strong institutions. All right. Professor Ransport Jampo, a political scientist and also a former senior research fellow at the IEA, who worked with Madam Jean Mensa for 14 years. Thank you for speaking to us.